Sonic Underground is probably one of the most bonkers TV shows I've ever seen in my life. And I don't say that lightly. Literally everything about this is it's just wrong. It shouldn't exist. Just watching the theme song alone raises more questions than it answers. Who's that? Green Sonic? Pink Sonic? Is that fucking Shrek? Okay, they live in a dystopian society for some reason. Wait, they're in a rock band now? Sonic Underground is the last of 3 Sonic cartoons to come out of the 90s. And while the other 2 already strayed away from the source material a little too much, this show, have you ever played a Sonic the Hedgehog game before? Just any Sonic game? Oh, you have? Well, good. Well, throw all of that knowledge down the garbage chute, because you're not going to be needing that where we're going today. In fact, you might as well just throw out your entire brain as well. It's in its best interest. Because today, we're going to be taking a look at the first episode of this absolutely just insane show. Buckle your seatbelts, and let's jump in to Sonic Underground. So the episode begins with this monologue about how the once peaceful Mobotropolis was taken over by the evil Dr. Robotnik and essentially just turned into like this toxic wasteland. You know, I never really got this trope. Like, if you're gonna take over the world, why wouldn't you do something cool with it instead of just turning it into like a depressing hellscape? If I were supreme dictator of Mobotropolis, I'd make that shit awesome. We're talking roller coasters on every block, giant bouncy houses everywhere. Hell, I'd put in one of those giant indoor scuba diving labyrinths. I've always wanted one of those. That would be awesome. So elect me for mayor of
Robotropolis.
I think it's a city. I don't fucking know. I guess maybe it's not his fault though, because literally everything just seems to crumble on its own for no real reason. Personally, I'd blame whoever was in charge beforehand, because that's just bad infrastructure if it can't handle a couple of noxious fumes from some evil spaceships.
As the source of Robotnik's money, the aristocrats were left to play, while our people were roboticized and became slaves.
You know, the narrator is pointing that out like it's a bad thing, but I mean, they honestly look pretty happy to me. I mean, this dude doesn't even look slightly bothered, come on. So I guess the narrator is like the former queen of this land or something, and also the mom of Sonic the Hedgehog and his 2 siblings who literally, they're just recolors of Sonic for some reason. There's also this weird creature we get introduced to called the Oracle of Delphius who, if I'm being honest, he just makes me feel really uncomfortable. I wouldn't leave my children alone with the Oracle of Delphius. I wouldn't leave anyone alone with the Oracle of Delphius. He has this prophecy that the queen and her 3 children will overthrow the government one day, but you see, there's a catch.
For the prophecy to be fulfilled, I had to give up my babies.
I'm sorry. What? Am I the only one that thinks this is a weird stipulation? Is that just me? So the queen literally just dumps all 3 of her children in some random alleyway and skeets off thanks to the Oracle of Delphius, tearing families apart since 1999. So now it's like 10 years later or something, and all 3 of the Hedgehog children are like trained musicians for some reason. I don't know, do you have a better explanation for this? Also, they look way more horrifying than they did when they were babies. I'm not sure who designed these characters, but I really hope they got the help they needed after working on this.
Sonic, listen to me. Run as fast as you can to Uncle Chuck's. Don't stop and don't look back.
Why? What about you?
We'll be okay, Sonic.
Man, this is so sad. Wait, who are you again? No, seriously, this is supposed to be an emotional moment in the show, but we only met Sonic's parents 30 seconds ago. No, seriously, 30 seconds
ago.
So Sonic's adoptive parents get absolutely just screwed over by the government. But luckily his uncle just conveniently shows up out of nowhere for some reason And that's very good. That's very good for Sonic. We stan Sonic's uncle on this channel. Very clever of the character designers to just copy and paste Sonic, turn down the saturation, and give him a mustache. Really drives home the fact that they're related. I don't think I would have picked up on that otherwise. So now Sonic's living with his uncle, and the two of them are plotting to destroy another one of Robotnik's factories. I'm not sure what this accomplishes outside of just pissing him off more, but you know, they seem really happy to be doing this, so I guess go off, kings. You gotta do what you gotta do in this life. I ain't stopping, you know, I ain't judging. I'm judging.
Shields ready, sir.
Good. Activate.
You know, I really don't like Robotnik's design in these old cartoons. They just sort of made him look like a penis. I'm not sure why they decided to make him look like a penis, but I respect the goal to do that. So Sonic breaks through the force field barrier and just blows up the entire factory in one fell swoop. And I guess Robotnik, he escapes in the nick of time, right? But he does this really funny dance.
So goofy and quirky.
Also, they had this robot slam itself right into his crotch, and that's just great. I think that was a really good addition that this episode needed. So now the Oracle of Delphius, or I guess the hologram of the Oracle of Delphius, shows up to Sonic's house, or I guess his uncle's house. Okay, what's happening now? I don't even know what's going on. We're 10 minutes into this episode, and I'm just completely lost and confused, and kind of a little sad.
Sonic, your destiny awaits.
Yeah, tell it to wait outside. I'm too tired to care.
Hashtag mood. So the Oracle tells Sonic that he's actually royalty, and that he has two siblings that he needs to reunite with to save the world. And it's around this point that I sort of started to question why the Oracle of Delphius doesn't just save the world himself. I mean, in this scene alone, we see him teleport into Sonic's house, levitate Sonic off the couch, wake him up, and manifest a coffee table out of nowhere. So clearly, he's more than capable, but I guess laziness just gets to all of us, doesn't it? So meanwhile, while all of this is going on, Robotnik hires these two bounty hunters who look like furries to try and figure out who's been breaking through all of his factories. And these guys are just really original characters. I have never seen these two characters in any other show where a villain has two bumbling idiot sidekicks. Very original, great job to whoever wrote those in. I hope they got a raise. So the next 2 minutes of the episode, and I'm not kidding here, I'm not making this up, but it suddenly just turns into a music video for some reason, like with Sonic and his two siblings who don't exist in the games, by the way. They don't exist outside of this show. They just got made up. I don't know why. But anyway, they're all rocking out together, even though none of them know each other. Okay, I mean, I could just write this off as like musical logic, but they all acknowledge the fact that this just happened, so... So while Sonic goes on some musical acid trip or whatever, the two furries from earlier somehow are able to deduce that the blue force breaking through Robotnik's factories is Sonic by... I don't know, I guess slapping a bunch of keys on their keyboard. They also just show a bunch of images of animal butts for some reason. No idea why they did this, but I guess asking for any sort of sense in this show at this point is probably just out the window. This next part just gets me really heated, so let me just explain what's happening here. So upon learning that it's a blue hedgehog, it reminds Robotnik of
The prophecy.
And we see this flashback where the Oracle appears in his bedroom, and we see him using freezing powers on him. Bro, you could have just taken him out right there and then. Why didn't you? Why? You could have stopped it all. I don't even know what's happening anymore. Sonic and his siblings are all randomly playing as a band at this club of, I guess, grotesque alien bugs, even though they don't know each other yet. And like, that's fine, I guess, but whoever was on sound design clearly didn't understand what a guitar sounds like. Listen to this. So out of nowhere, this attack just sort of happens, and judging by the way it was framed, it looks like several people were probably killed or seriously injured. May they rest in peace. And he just leaves them all to die, I guess. What a... So the episode ends with the Oracle appearing to the Hedgehog siblings and informing them that their parental guardians have all been kidnapped and roboticized, and that there's literally nothing they can do about it. And this is their reaction to said news.
Feral. No!
Not even just a tear? Okay. Personally, if I were in their shoes, I would punch the Oracle in the face for not using his infinite supply of powers to just stop this all from happening. But who am I? I'm just some nobody on YouTube. Actually, I probably wouldn't do that. I don't like social conflict. So the episode ends with all three hedgehogs setting out on a journey of self-discovery and magical powers or something, and that sets into motion the rest of the series. I assume. I didn't watch any other episodes. Why would I? So that was Sonic Underground, probably one of the strangest, most out there concepts or premises that they could have came up with
For a Sonic cartoon.
I seriously cannot grasp how this got greenlit at all. It feels like 3 different shows shoved into one big mesh of a mess of a show. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to get back to watching something that's actually worth my time. Now that is quality programming. Oh, hey, funny running into you here. What a coincidence, just seeing you at the end of the video like this. Well, while you're here, you might as well leave a like and subscribe, right? It's just common courtesy, isn't it? Also, I have 2 more videos right there for you to check out if you enjoyed this, which, seeing as you're all the way here at the end of the video, I assume you are, so go ahead, go ham, watch them, please. I need this.